What's going on? It's a new year. And of course, with a new year, we're back with another play by play. This play by play happens to be coming from the home of the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champions. So I'm super excited to talk some sports here. You might remember him from Survivor season 46. The king, the man, the myth, the legend, Jelinsky was popping.
Bryce, how's it going? Congratulations on the Super Bowl win, man. And listen, I'm an Eagles, I've never really been high on the Eagles, but I love AJ Brown. I love Saquon, and it's really great seeing AJ getting another ring and Saquon getting his first. So I'm super happy for them, and there we go.
Absolutely. I'm excited. Jelinsky hit me up and said, Bryce, when we doing a play-by-play? I said, Jelinsky, whenever you're ready. So I'm excited. Jelinsky came with topics. I said, oh, the baby boy is serious. So let's get into, well, first of all, how's your new year? How's everything been going? Your background looks different. Word on the street is, did you move to a new apartment?
That's the word. The word is true. So I moved into a new spot. It's been really great. I love the new area that I'm in. We're still furnishing right now, so we got a lot of work to do there. It's just I got to sell a bit more slot machine parts. But 2025 has been good so far, man. A lot to talk about today. I got a bunch of new territory at work. And what about you, Bryce? How are things?
Everything's been good with me, home of the Super Bowl champions. It's February, my birthday month, Black History. We're getting ready to go on the Bryson Wynn Tour 48. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you in San Francisco. So
That's right.
everything is looking up. We've got a new Survivor season coming up, and I am partial to the spring seasons. Kagian premiered in the spring, and I love a Survivor spring season because it starts off in the middle of winter and then it ends and it's basically summer. So it's all the more reason to get hyped for some Survivor.
Man, Bryce, that's a good point. How are you feeling? You're 20 seasons away from the Cagayan premiere, man. How does that make you feel?
Old. Old. It's
Man.
crazy to think it still feels just like yesterday. And I mean, it's just a blessing. I get to meet amazing people from the community like you. And I love your energy and I love the energy of the community and the direction that Survivor's going. So I mean, it make me feel old, but I am I don't consider myself old school. I feel like I still am new school of Survivor. So, but it is what it is. But listen, we are here to talk about sports, and Jelinsky has curated the topics of today's episode. Of course, I had to add in a couple. If you watch play by play, it's only one topic that I have to have on the menu every play by play. So that shouldn't be a surprise. But what you got for us, Jelinsky?
Okay. So, Bryce, let's start with Super Bowl 59, man. The one thing I told my girlfriend was, I just really hope that it's not a boring game. I just hope we see a lot of touchdowns. But what I guess I meant to say was, I hope that it's not a domination because that was bad, man. Bryce, what are your thoughts? Were you expecting it to
Listen.
go up so quick?
Listen, I was hyped. I was ready. Listen, Mahomes sacked 6 times, a career high in a game. I love Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, first of all, I feel like Jalen Hurts is my spirit animal. Whenever you see him in the tunnel, he always got on something purple.
Mm-hmm.
And, Jalen Hurts deserves the credit. However, our Eagles defense was not to be wet. Do you hear
Man.
me?
Bro, Zach Bond, he got his interception. That was cool to see. He's a first team All Pro defense. Cooper DeJean, rookie on his birthday.
On the birthday,
Man.
him and Saquon share the same birthday, but for him, on his birthday, the first NFL player to score a touchdown in a Super Bowl on his birthday. Come on, Coop. Listen.
So cool to see, bro. I mean, he was looking great. The whole Eagles defense, like you were saying, it was I can't even say it was the Eagles defense because both sides were just on their A game. They were going crazy. They came to play. I mean, I seen Patrick Mahomes' pass rating at halftime, and it was like 10, which you never see, man. That is just brutal. And Jalen Hurts did everything right. It was so fun to watch. And, man, really, congratulations to the Philadelphia fan base. Bryce, were you going crazy in the parade? Tell me what was going on.
The city was on fire. We were on fire when we were our conference division championships. The city was on fire last night. My phone got wet. I thought my phone died. A lot happened. Where are we at? I came home with a hickey on my neck. Jelinsky, I don't know what happened. Okay, and I'm being serious. Okay, the city was on fire. It was great. They said, because of you, Jelinsky, I listen to the sports commentary now, and they said if they can stop Saquon, what are the Eagles going to do? The Eagles aren't going to do anything if they stop Saquon. Well, listen, they stopped Saquon all game, but guess what? We were still playing. Then, a lot of the people were saying, oh, Jalen doesn't have an arm. Jalen doesn't have an arm. Did you see the throw? Was it 55 yards?
Man, it was nice. To Devontae Smith?
Smith?
That was beautiful. And I was one of those people, look, because I'm not an Eagles hater. I like to watch football. And I know Jalen Hurts, he's a runner, man. And the Eagles offense, they got Saquon, they got Jalen Hurts. I was like, man, run the ball. But then, man, he made me eat my words. He was dropping dimes. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. He had one to Dallas Goedert. It was just, everyone. Dotson, the new addition. Everyone was getting involved. I was so impressed with Jalen Hurts yesterday. He truly deserved the Super Bowl MVP. For sure.
He absolutely did. That Devontae Smith catch really felt like in our city, you probably know, we say we need our lick back. And during the Super Bowl 3 years ago, I felt like Hurts threw a very similar play, not Hurts, but Mahomes threw a similar play. And I just love the fact that we were just dominating throughout the whole game. Normally, when I go to Super Bowl parties and stuff, I don't really like to watch the game. I feel like I jinx it. So I just be watching the game on Google. Like I'll just type in like Eagles and I'll just see the score in the live minutes. But it was definitely a celebration in the city. Well deserved. Very proud of our boys. We did it. And listen, and what Mahomes thought he was going to get a three-peat.
He thought. He thought.
Nah.
And the Eagles are the closest to the three-peat now. So we'll see what happens next year, man. I would really like to see it. It's a fun team. And like I said, Bryce, I know I said it before. I was not the biggest Eagles fan, but since yesterday, I've really turned around on this team. I like a lot of the players, but the whole culture, it's just, I feel like if there's a team deserving, it's them. You got to root for them. Even the whole stadium yesterday.
Well, I mean, listen, people was in attendance. It felt like Game of Thrones. Felt like people were kissing the ring. They asked Jalen. They said, Jalen, what you think about somebody being there? They can go wherever they want. They said, any added pressure? Jalen said, no, ma'am. Okay. Listen, the Eagles were on the right side of history here in the city of brotherly love. And it was just really exciting to witness it, to be alive, to be young, to be in love, I guess, last night in the city. So I was very excited. It was a great game. And yeah, see you later, Mahomes.
There you go. Well, speaking of Saquon Barkley, let's transition this into the Offensive Player of the Year. They were able to stop him last night, but man, I'm getting ahead of myself. Should we talk about the MVP debate first?
So yeah, let's talk about the MVP because I have a question because I don't know a lot about sports, Jelinsky, but I do have some pillow talk with some men that knows about sports, and so these were the choices for the MVP, correct?
That is correct. They were the front runners, and really all season. Josh Allen started out strong. It was pretty much a consensus that he was the favorite to win early on. However, Lamar Jackson's Lamar Jackson. And even to me, someone who is a huge Bills fan, a huge Josh Allen fan, Lamar Jackson had much better numbers. I mean, this is a generational talent, but I feel like it really comes back to the games that you do win. And Josh Allen, he was able to beat those good teams this year. And I feel like it really came down to that. And I'm happy to see Josh Allen win it personally because I felt like if not this year, then when? So I'm glad that he got one, but Lamar Jackson, shoot, he may get 3 more before his career's over.
So I'm not that impressed with these MVP picks. Now, let me ask you a question. These two players, their offense or defense?
Their offense.
Oh, okay. Now, remind me who got the offense MVP player?
That's a gentleman named Saquon Barkley.
Okay, so let me understand how he is not the MVP. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the debate of MVP really should have been the debate for offensive MVP, and Saquon should have gotten MVP this whole season. In Saquon, we trust. Saquon has been cooking and shooking this
Look
whole
at the
season.
shirt.
Look, okay, do y'all see my shirt? This man is jumping over people, and he's not MVP. So although I do understand, I've heard a long lecture yesterday morning about Lamar and about how, like, similar words my friend said was like, if not now, then when. I understand that, but it's 2025. And like, I don't want this legacy giving it to somebody because they've had a great career. Like, I'm talking about this 2024-2025 season. The only offensive player that I've been hearing on sports talk, because now I got to put it on because Jelinsky want me to listen to it, is Saquon this, Saquon that. And so I just feel like the role should have been reversed. Saquon should have been MVP, period. But we will take offensive MVP.
Right. We'll take off. And Bryce, I agree with you, man. And this actually is a common debate in the NFL and the NFL fan base. It's a quarterback award, the MVP. And it's honestly frustrating. And I was personally frustrated with, I can't be frustrated with the Eagles because I'm glad that they won the Super Bowl, but I really wanted Saquon to beat that single season record for most rushing yards because the record right now is considered untouchable, but they didn't play Saquon the last game. So was it the last game or the last two? I think it was just the last game. Last two.
I think. I could be lying, but
either way, I really would have liked to see Saquon at least get an attempt. At least get an attempt because it's really hard to get that close to history. And true to your point, say he did break that record, shoot, maybe he would have gotten the votes that he needed to at least propel him to second place, but really maybe even first.
Yeah, I mean, Philly here, Penn State, even though I went to Temple, but like it's Saquon, period. He should have been MVP. But I do understand, and I'm still happy he got offensive MVP of the year. Well deserved.
Well deserved, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Saquon. He's such a great guy. And honestly, coming out of the Giants all of those years, and I mean, I guess he's not considered too much of an older back, but he doesn't have the legs, quote unquote, like he used to. But I mean, shoot.
Well, I mean,
him play, man.
I don't want the legs he used to. I take the legs he got right now because they jumping over people. And it's crazy that you even bring up the Giants because I feel like in this next topic, it's something very similar. This has had the NBA has had people up in arms regarding this trade. So please talk to us about what is going on in the NBA with our guy Luka. Okay, because we love Luka.
We love Luka and we love AD, but look, I'll say it. LeBron and Luka are my two favorite players in the league right now. LeBron, my favorite player of all time. So I'm okay with Anthony Davis leaving. Now, I got my Mavs jersey on, but don't get it twisted. I am just a Luka fan. So I had to text Bryce immediately. I said, look, we got to do a play-by-play because this offseason, not even the offseason, this trade deadline was the biggest in a long time, and people are saying it's the biggest ever. You don't see this. You do not see this. In fact, the only place you really see trades like this are in NBA 2K, which I'm very familiar with. So I recently seen a graphic saying that this trade was the wildest sports trade ever.
I'm confused. It reminds me of the Giants letting Saquon go to the Eagles. Like, I'm confused. Like, Luka is a generational player. He is a franchise player. He took them to the finals. Like, again, my gentleman caller, because mind you, I had all of these topics up, and mind you, my friend was like, why you want to talk about this? But mind you, he's very passionate. And he had said it's like as if the Eagles would trade AJ Brown. Like, what are they doing?
Honestly, a great comparison too, because look, Anthony Davis, his first game, I seen the tweet. Don't forget, AD is a star too. Come the third quarter, he's injured already. He's already hurt. This is crazy to me because the Mavericks, I mean, truly, Luka Doncic is a once-in-a-generation player. Just like LeBron, putting two of them on the same team, that's honestly like LeBron and MJ on the same team. And we're going to see it today in the NBA. In fact, the game is about to start right now. I'm excited to see how Luka performs tonight and LeBron alongside LeBron. I mean, it's just so absurd. And the Mavericks were saying that they were concerned about Luka's weight and Luka's health. Man, he is 6'7", 6'8". It is normal to weigh 270 pounds. And, like, most of that is muscle. Come on, man. He's dropping 30, 10, and 10 every night.
Right.
Like, let's be for real.
He took y'all to the finals. And it's like Dallas was Luka's first U.S. team city. Like, I like it when players, like, don't get me wrong, I do feel like at some point in time, players need to leave. Melo needs to leave the Hornets. But, like, there is just something to say about Luka coming to Dallas, bringing them to the finals. This has been his first U.S. team. Like, I was sad to see him go. I was shocked that they even let him go. It was kind of crazy. And then we get to this other, and this is another interesting kind of sort of topic. Jay Butler or Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to Golden State.
That's right. So he actually just played his first game a couple of days ago, and they were trailing Chicago by 40 points. So people were saying, oh, man, they're cooked. I mean, even when the trade happened, they were like, wow, they traded for Jimmy Butler, someone who is an older guy. Steph's an older guy. The Warriors better get ready to rebuild. They're making fun of them. They came back and beat Chicago by over 10 points, which was absurd. I think they went on like a 72 to 23-point run, which is crazy. Jimmy was showing out. I think he finished with 35 points. Steph finished with around 30. They were looking really nice. And it's an interesting trade to see for sure because Jimmy is kind of known to not be – well, and I hate to say that because he really led his team, the Miami Heat, to the NBA Finals one year. He's a great teammate. But, you know, hearing the things about Jimmy now, and we saw this in Minnesota and Philly, you know this when he was on the Sixers. He was a locker room problem. He calls people out on his shit. If he doesn't like you, he won't play with you. So coming to the Warriors, a very team-oriented team, it's going to be interesting to see. And they had a really good first game.
Andrew Wiggins is with the Golden State, right?
They traded him away.
Okay.
Yep, so, that's who they traded Jimmy for.
Okay,
really.
They traded. So here is my concern with Golden State and this Jimmy Butler. With Steph and Jimmy Butler, what you could say older players, my fear is they are taking up a large amount of this Golden State budget. And them to have such an older team, it's like, how are you going to get new fresh blood in when you're expending this exorbitant amount of money on these players that are older? Not anything wrong with older players, but I'm just saying, like, when you look at these salaries and you look at the budget, it's like, where is there room to grow, Jelinsky, with having these monstrous salaries?
You're right. And honestly, shit, Jimmy and Steph, whatever, fine. I can possibly understand it. But you're looking at Draymond Green, who's making $20 million a year. Come on, man. I can do what Draymond does. I can dish out the rock like he does. He is not playing to a $20, $25 million contract level. And it goes to your point about Steph and Jimmy. They're trying to win now. And honestly, from an outsider looking in, but I mean, shoot, Bryce, we got a pretty good opinion on this. I think I don't think they're winning with this team. I say sayonara to the boys and rebuild in the draft.
We will see. In other draft news, this one is what I kind of sort of feel bad about. This is Mark Williams.
Man, Mark Williams.
He's going to the Lakers, right? Now, what I know about Mark Williams is he's a solid player, but I just feel bad because when you have LeBron and Luka, who the hell cares about a Mark Williams?
Right. Well, Bryce, what's crazy is this actually came out a couple days ago. So you know Mark Williams because I know you're a Hornets fan, and you probably know that Mark is injured a lot, right? So he's young. He's a young guy. He's a big guy. Big guys tend to have problem with their backs. So he's hurt right now. They sent him over to the Lakers, and the Lakers are doing a physical on him. They discovered that Mark Williams had a lot more problems than the Hornets said, and they rescinded the trade.
Not pre-existing conditions. What in the insurance company? Somebody better call Luigi. What?
Well, and what's crazy about that too, Bryce, is now they're both going back to their original teams, and Dalton Connect on the Lakers has to act like they wanted him there.
See, this is what I love about sports. Not actually sports. It's this type of drama. Can you imagine Jelinsky, you on your tribe, Q trades you away, you're pissed, and then the other tribe is like, nah, Jelinsky, nah, that's not a good trade. You got to go back, and then you're stuck to work with Q, and you got to pretend like you like it.
That is a great comparison, bro. That is a great comparison. And the funniest part about it is you go back and you know Q does not want to work with you. So it's like you're working with someone who didn't want you in the first place. So now nobody likes you, and you got to act like it's all good and dandy and try to go score 30 points or try to pull off a blindside, man. It shows that this is just a business, and it's really, really crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you're not just playing for $1 million. You're playing for an $8 million contract. So maybe I could pretend.
Right. Maybe I could pretend.
Right. Christmas is not canceled this year. And so keeping in, I guess, since Mark is back at the Hornets, let's talk about another upset, which I am confused about. They snubbing my boy LaMelo for the All-Star game. I'm confused because, mind you, first of all, I'm on everything Instagram LaMelo. I'm on everything TikTok LaMelo. I feel like a couple of weeks ago, Jelinsky, they were saying Melo had the most votes or points. He was like up 1,000. So I'm confused as to how they snub him. Now, again, at my early morning pillow talk, I was being calmed down the ledge, and essentially I was told that LaMelo is a great player. However, in this all-star realm, there are some legends, and that LaMelo will have his time, but there are some legends. And I'm not buying that because wasn't Melo in the All-Star game 2 years in a row? Now, one of the games, he was a sub. So, he played, but he was a sub. But I'm confused as to the greatness. Yeah, LaMelo isn't on a great team, but he is for sure a showstopper. He's an amazing player. He's leading the votes. Why is my man not on the All-Star team?
That's a fact, because what's crazy is LaMelo was an all-star his second year.
Yeah.
It really should be going up from there, and his numbers are. So, Bryce, I'm on the train with you, bro. I really think LaMelo was snubbed this year. It all goes back to him being on the Hornets franchise, which is such a hard watch. Now, I'll tell you this. So, Giannis was just ruled out of the All-Star game today. And guess who replaced him? Not LaMelo. Trae Young. So, I mean, LaMelo had another shot right there, and he is literally the next player down. And I'm frustrated about it because I truly believe that LaMelo should be an all-star this year. He's an all-star player. He's their franchise player. He's the Luka of the Hornets. So it
Absolutely.
sucks not seeing LaMelo get his shot to shine, and maybe next year, but I hope LaMelo does himself a favor and goes to a winning team.
See, I yes, I agree with that. However, for me, it's like loyalty. Like I love the Charlotte Hornets. One, I'm invested. I've spent a lot of money
Right.
on their merchandise, right?
You're
So it's
too
like,
far in.
right, I'm in. But I do feel like, like the Sixers say, trust the process. I'm not sure what process there is to be trusted on Charlotte at this point. And so I do feel like there needs to be Melo going somewhere. And I saw some predictions with I think it was like the Bulls I saw were interested. I saw the Lakers at one point in time. And I want to say it was like some other random team like the Bucks potentially. But wherever Melo goes, just know that that will be the team that I will be going for. But it is kind of crazy that he's snubbed though, because he is such an all-star player.
Well, and you made a good point, man. It's like we want to root for the Hornets. It's just the organization is letting LaMelo down. That's really what it is. So hopefully MJ gets his act together.
Right. But it sucks because it's like, and I think we've had this conversation before. Yeah, the organization for sure is letting Melo down, but Melo's checks are still clearing, right? Like they are still clearing. And so a job is a job. And so obviously
he's got a good job.
Right. Everyone that goes into the NBA, you want to win a champion, you want a ring. But I mean, in this day and age, with the tariffs swinging left and right, with executive orders being signed, with people being forced back to work, I mean, hey, a job is a job. And I mean, that Charlotte Hornets paycheck is not looking that bad at this point. But I do want to see LaMelo with some other giants, some other greats that he could move and shake. And I mean, the Charlotte team is young and they've got some people. I really like a couple of their rookies, but they got some people. But it's just, in my opinion, it's just not enough to stand up against these giants that we're facing.
Right. I completely agree.
And I mean, if we're going to keep it in the Ball family, it's a couple of things I'd like to talk about. My brother-in-law, Jello has been making waves, not on the basketball court. Well, some could say the basketball court because his song Tweaking went viral at the top of the year of 2025. And a lot of the NBA arenas started playing the song and in the locker room. And he just released the remix to Tweaking with Lil Wayne over the Super Bowl weekend. Yes. So he's got a feature with Lil Wayne. He's got another song in the gear getting ready to come out. So all things are really looking well for Jello. LeVar said he wanted to get all three of his sons in the NBA. He wanted all three of his sons to win. Well, Lonzo is with the Bulls. Melo is the champion or the franchise player at the Hornets. And now Jello has a hot song. He just signed a record deal for $8 million. And so that's really good for Jello. Listen, the basketball isn't kind of working out for you. You might need to swerve, hit that curve, bend the corner. Whoa. And I just love, you're a little younger than me, Jelinsky, but what I love about his song is it gives you really early 2000s, like when people was wearing 3XLs, needing a medium, when they was wearing these baggy jeans. And so it really is a bop. And the second, like in the New Year's, once the song started picking up waves, I was sending it to Jelinsky every day on TikTok, like, yo, are you hearing this? You hearing this? You see my boy?
Man, I really love the song too. You're so right. I love the memes where it's like everyone dancing in their baggy clothes and saying, if I'm playing NCAA 2003, this is the song that's playing in the back. Because it's so true, man. LiAngelo has got a good style, good flow. I love that he actually sounds different because that's something you really don't see a lot nowadays. And I love Lonzo, too. Lonzo's also good in the studio. So Them Ball brothers, man, they don't play around. And I love seeing Jello finally gets his success, man, because such a great family, such a great mom and dad. And you can tell that they raised three great young men. And,
Well,
man, LiAngelo, oh, did you see he's performing in the All-Star game?
I did see that he is performing. Did you also see the mess that unfolded this weekend with his baby mother, Miss Nikki, who's been by his
Oh,
side? We might know Miss Nikki from Love and Hip Hop. That's my girl. Been following her. She's been with Jello for 3 years. In 3 years, she's birthed 2 children under 2, the youngest being 3 months old. Miss Nikki went on the internet this weekend to say, I see y'all tagging me with Jello with this new woman who happens to be older than me. Jello and I were just happy. We're planning our family photos. And just the other day, Jello told me that he's leaving me for someone else, allegedly pregnant. And that's the bombshell. Then we got
man.
this older
Woo.
girl, Rashida. Listen, this is literally Saturday. Miss Nikki is and Miss Nikki minding her business. They tagging Miss Nikki. Miss Nikki responds and says all of this. The woman's older. Then later that night, the lady posts a photo at dinner with her hand with the 3 B's.
Man.
Next to Jello. Then Jello posts her to his story. Now listen here and listen here quickly, Jello. I love you because the last name, because my man is LaMelo. But you get one hot song.
Literally
Okay?
one.
One hot song. Listen, I remember when you was stealing glasses in China. Stop playing with Miss Nikki.
Man.
Listen,
Bryce,
man.
you know what I gotta say about this? Whoa. That's all I gotta say about it.
Crazy. Like
This
Jello.
is crazy, man. I did see that post. I seen what Nikki post. I did not know. Thank you for the details, man, because that is some wild work. Respect to Nikki though, because she seems to be handling it like a grade A woman. Man, I love this. I love to hear that because that's hard to go through, especially birthing 2 children. I love seeing a woman who knows how to carry herself.
For me, here's the thing. Breakups happen. People step out in their relationships. Like, men are dirty. Sorry, Jelinsky. But men ain't, we know this. But for me, I think what pisses me off even more, and although listen, we just know the headlines, we don't know the backstories, whatever, but it's just the timing of it, right? Like the timing of you getting a hot song, you finally kind of getting your just dues, and then you leave the woman that's been holding you down for these last 3 years, because if I remember, you getting with her was a big thing. She kind of elevated you. Miss Nikki had her own money. She comes from money. Her family owns a line of strip clubs. LeVar, you saw that interview with LeVar where LeVar was like, he doesn't like Zoe's baby mom because she doesn't let him see the kids. He liked Melo's girlfriend at the time, Anna, even though they broke up. Bye. And he loved Miss Nikki because Miss Nikki had her own money. She wasn't after anything for Jello, and she elevated Jello. So LeVar himself said he liked Nikki.
Yup. And LeVar has great taste. That we know. LeVar only speaks facts, and he's a loyal man. He's stuck with Tina. They're in love, and especially after Tina had all of her medical issues. That's so even coming from LeVar, Jello, I'm a little bit surprised by that, man. That's hard to see for sure.
I guess Jello really wanted to embrace the life of a rapper, but we'll see how it all plays out. I'm still going to support my brother-in-law, regardless, but it is just crazy, the timing. Miss Nikki, keep your head up, sis. We love you. And then one of the last topics that I was confused about that you put on, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to just let Jelinsky break this down to me, because it's the NBA season tournament, and Jelinsky worded it, because I want to read this correctly, because y'all know sometimes I don't be reading everything right. Jelinsky had put in his notes, he said, let me get to him. He said mid-season championship contenders. Now, I asked my pillow companion. My pillow companion was like, well, he believes the Bucks won it, but that was back in like November, December. So he was like, I don't know what homeboy talking about. So please explain to me. I do know that this tournament, the NBA has created or initiated over the last couple of years has to boost excitement in the franchise because the NBA has been a little boring and the ratings reflect that. And so to make the playoffs a little bit more interesting, they do this mid-season tournament, which my friend was very adamant he did not like because he says if you win this tournament, you automatically get a shot at the play-in. And after that, you could just bench all your stars and you could just chill. Doesn't matter what your record is. You will have a shot. You won't be in the playoffs. You have to play in, but that's another story because you know how I feel about that play-in, Jelinsky, because that's not the playoffs. So stop calling the play-in the playoffs because it's not the playoffs. You're playing to get in the playoffs. But then people say it's the playoffs. But if it's the playoffs, why would it be the play-in? It's literally the play-in to play in to the playoffs. But I digress. I'm just a gay man that likes to casually watch sports. So I'm going to stay in my place. But please answer a lot of these questions and explain to us who are the contenders of this tournament that allegedly happened in November and December.
Right. So everything your pillow companion was saying, it was true. He's smart and he's right. So the reason I'm partial to this is because they actually hold the semifinals and championship game in Las Vegas. So I got to go to the Bucks and Thunder game, and the Bucks won. I'm a big Giannis fan because they also have the NBA Summer League out here. So Giannis came out here, man, when I was in high school, so a while ago now, like 8 years ago, and I had met him, and I asked him to tell me a joke. And he told me a joke, and I said, man, he is so real for that. Like, he's a cool-ass dude.
Wait. Jelinsky, you are giving me my baby boy Jack Atkins vibes right now. So wait a minute. So you met...
I met Giannis, man, and he was so cool.
So you met Giannis,
earth, bro.
It's getting... Hi, my name's Jelinsky.
I was like, Giannis, tell me a joke, man. Tell me a joke. Because like that's like his thing. Looking back, he probably thought I was a little bit weird for asking him to tell him a joke. But you want to know what the joke was?
Yes, please.
He said, what is brown and sticky? A stick.
Wah, wah.
It was so bad. I think that's what made it funny because it was so bad.
Jelinsky.
Man.
And you probably was laughing. You probably was like,
I'm like, Giannis, that's the funniest shit I ever heard, bro. I said, that's why you're the MVP. But what's funny is I actually did that too. You're so right. In my head, I was like, man, that joke was ass. But I was like, man, Giannis, that was so funny. But anyway, so I met Giannis. They won the championship. And I was happy to see that, the in-season tournament. Now, you're right. So what's interesting about the in-season tournament is if a team like the Bucks and the Thunder, who were in the championship, they're going to make the playoffs anyway. So that's kind of why this in-season tournament is stupid. However, if the Charlotte Hornets ended up winning the play-in tournament, that's pretty big because they might not necessarily make it given their record, you know? So LaMelo might show out, and all of a sudden, they're the 8th seed.
So let me ask you this question, right? So in the tournament, the Bucks win, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, if their record this season already puts them higher than that seat at the tournament, then they're in the playoffs. And who does the seat then go to? The person that they lost, the person that the Bucks beat, or is there another tournament?
Nope, neither. So they would just be dubbed the NBA in-season tournament champions, and they would get the playoff seed that they earned. So that further proves y'all's point why it's kind of meaningless and stupid. Like, it's cool for the culture and it gets the team hyped. However, they just traded one of their teammates away, Chris Middleton. So if you're trying to build a culture, if you're trying to get hyped for the playoffs, shoot, that kind of negates it right there. You know what I mean?
So, okay, but And is that the case with the Bucks record right now? Is it looking like they're not even going to need that seed?
The Bucks look like they're going to make the playoffs.
So, and who is the team that okay, so then they would just play that team at the bottom. But who was sitting at the NBA boardrooms? Because in my opinion, right, it would make it even more exciting if the Bucks are going to place the team that the Bucks lost to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like the wild card. It would seem to me that would be more exciting, that they can take their place, and now they have a shot at the playing for the playoffs. Doesn't that make sense?
And that's what's hard too, because the team that they beat is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're like 42-9. They have the best record in the NBA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's
not they. Okay, NBA. This ain't making sense. So you telling me the team that the Bucks beat in this play-in tournament that's supposed to make it exciting, they have the best record in their division, so they're already going to go to the playoffs. The Bucks are going to the playoffs. So basically, y'all just wasted this money and this hypeness for nothing.
Right, and that's really exactly what it is too. And it's whatever. Like, I respect the NBA for trying to do something, but, also at the same time, it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, all these little adjustments they do to the All-Star game have made the All-Star game and All-Star weekend way less fun to watch.
And this wasn't okay. So now the play-in will be just the bottom two teams right there that will play it. But also what they are trying to do at the All-Star game, did you hear the Caitlin Clark, how last year at the All-Star game, they had one of the WNBA best 3 shooters, and she shot with Steph Curry. And that really was exciting. And so they're like, oh, let's do it again. And so they reached out to our girl, Caitlin Clark. Now, mind you, I always go back and forth. I stand with my girl, Angel Reese, but first of all, I love Caitlin Clark, right? Like, period.
Right.
She is a generational player, and she speaks up for what is right. And in this instance, I couldn't love her more. She declined. She said, no, I'm good. And her reasoning was the first 3-point competition game that I want to play in, it'll be for the WNBA All-Star game. I said, my mother...
I love that, man. That's needed, because honestly, if she didn't say that, there might not be that competition. There really might not be. She needs to bring attention. I'm glad that she understands the role that she provides, because I love that she uses her platform. If someone's going to do it, it's the new WNBA players, man. Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, everybody. Asia Wilson, my girl Asia Wilson. They all need to really speak up, because they have a lot. Voice is power, and I really love that they're using it.
Now, this wasn't on the topic, but my last pillow companion was like, you should bring this up. See what the Bulls say. That's what he said. So he said, because I was telling him how you tell me that I should watch the sports highlights, and so I had that on in the morning, and he says it's dumb. I just need to listen to like sports radio. He says sports radio is more better. I'll get the statistics and the drama that I want. But he also said he listens to Cam Newton's podcast, and Cam Newton said that in 10 years the WNBA will be bigger than baseball. And my pillow companion was like, one average, now mind you, he clearly likes the WNBA, but he was like, one average person in the I don't even know what's the MLB. He was like, one person in the MLB that's average. He was like, makes more than all of the WNBA players combined. He was like, it's stupid. He was like, but Cam Newton was just saying that for a clickbait. But he did ask you what you thought of that, because here's the thing. Let's leave baseball alone, because the thing about baseball is I'm trying to meet me a baseball player, Jelinsky, because that's where the money is at. Is baseball in a quiet, They're normal. They're not extravagant like that. And mind you, the age range of these baseball players, Jelinsky is, because I've done some research, it's like 18 to like 46. Like, it's like, I'm like, now, wait a minute. So let's leave baseball alone, because baseball, that's where the money at. It's the great American sport. However, I do believe that the WNBA is on a rise. And we say this every podcast. And I don't know if the WNBA will eclipse baseball, but with the trajectory that the NBA is on, I could see the WNBA in 5-6 years giving the NBA a real run for its money.
I completely agree. And that's something I think about a lot, actually, because at the end of the day, every son has a mother, you know? Every daughter has a mother. So
every person
has a mother. That's right. So what's interesting is, like, there are so many women in the world, and I love that as time goes on, more and more and more of them get to show professional sports how much they care about it, professional women's sports. And I believe that the WNBA not only could eclipse the NBA, not only the MLB, but also the NFL. And I
what in
really
the Cam
believe
Jelinsky?
that. Because, I mean, look at you and me, Bryce. We also love the WNBA. So I really think WNBA is on the rise. And I love that he mentioned Cam Newton's podcast, because there are a few podcasts I really like, and Cam Newton is one of them. Cam Newton, okay, I'm not even a huge Panthers fan like that, North Carolina, but I loved Cam, Super Cam. He was so fun to watch. I really wish that he got that ring in the Super Bowl. And he's one of those guys who makes, like, extraordinary claims and big, bold claims. So honestly, the fact that he said that, I can understand the fact that it's clickbait, but I do believe in the back of his mind, he thinks that that is true. And he wouldn't have said it otherwise. And I think that when it happens, Cam Newton's going to go back and be like, see, I told you all this 10 years ago. And I believe it. And I'm going to say it right now. I truly believe that the WNBA will at least eclipse the NBA and the MLB. NFL, I don't know, because in my opinion, football is the great American sport. Although they say baseball, I've never been a big baseball guy. Like, I follow it enough to talk about it. But the WNBA is hot. It's hot.
I haven't been to a WNBA game, but I plan on going this season. I've been to a couple of baseball games. No shade to baseball players, but it's boring.
It's so boring.
However, I didn't realize, I want to say maybe like last summer, me and Wendell went to a baseball game. We were like, everybody just get drunk. Like, it's literally like, I was just like, oh, I get it.
Right. So that's really it.
Right.
That is really it.
It's like, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I fit right in.
Right.
But I can see how more exciting. I just recently went to a Sixers game, sat courtside. Okay. Yep. And people think I'm lying, but Maxey kept making eye contact with me. I really feel like he thought like I was related to him. And I just being at an NBA game, I haven't been at a Sixers game in such a long time. The excitement, and it wasn't a great game. We lost, but like just the excitement, the experience from a baseball to an NBA game was drastically different. And I can only imagine at a WNBA game, it would be even more exciting. So I definitely can see sometime in the near future, I don't know if it will eclipse, but it will definitely be a huge market promotion, money grab, and the women will be paid like they should be paid, like they pay the men. I definitely foresee that in the near future.
I wonder if Tyrese Maxey is a Survivor fan, because Bryce, you're pretty recognizable.
Jelinsky.
I'm not even playing.
What's brown and sticky?
A stick.
Okay, because right. So listen, let's just leave that there, Jelinsky. No, I'm not somebody that laughed at that joke. I do not. No. But I'm just saying, Maxie was looking at me. Wendell got the footage. I'm just saying, what's up, man?
Hey, I did see that on your story, him warming up. Like, that is awesome. I can't believe you got great seats.
Yeah.
I've never, ever been courtside at an NBA game, man. That
Jelinsky,
is awesome.
it was nerve-wracking. Because here, first of all, you don't know. I'm a little awkward sometimes. Not that I'm awkward, I'm just in my mind. So I am I'm predicting things before they happen so I could stay ready. But then it's like I predict something that don't happen, and then I'm ready. Then I look weird. Jelinsky, the whole game, I'm like, the ball's gonna hit me in the head. The ball is like, and so I couldn't really be on my phone because I wanted to be like, and I didn't want to look like. Because I feel like when some people be like, me, Jelinsky, I'd be like, but
you would have caught it and shot a three.
No,
you were ready.
I would have screamed, Jelinsky. It wouldn't have been good. So
it was scary. The NBA players, especially, man, they're a different breed because those are big dudes. You know Scott Pollard.
I was ready for them. Now that they could have fell on me, that would have been fine. Okay. But I just was not trying to get the ball because you see there's like that one guy on the phone with his glasses, and I was just like, that's going to be me, and I don't want it to be me. So it was like very nerve-wracking, and it was like a fashion show. I didn't realize like it was such a big deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially being courtside, you gotta pop out.
Yeah, I mean, you had to do a little something for a little something. But again, shout out to Challenge Mania that hooked Wendell and I up for those tickets. But listen, Jelinsky, we got off to a slow start, but I think we hit a home run. And I'm not talking MLB. I'm talking PPP, Purple Pants Podcast, play-by-play. I appreciate you so much for coming on. I did see on your TikTok, you have a lot of things coming on. I saw you on the Michelle and Kelly podcast. What else you got going on, Jelinsky?
Man, so I've got a lot of things going on. I just started a new gambling page, Jelinsky Slots. So there I'm going to focus on some slot machine play, educate the viewers about how to play a slot machine and what certain bonuses look like. I also wanted to start 75 hard. You know, I've come to realize that diet is big. So I got to go to do a grocery haul before I start that and quit making excuses. So I got 75 hard coming out. Bryce, there also might be some rumblings about some new Jelinsky merch coming out. So we got a lot going on, man. And I'm really excited. It's been a great 2025 so far. I'm excited for Bryce and win in San Francisco. We're going to get lit. I'm super excited about that. Big things going on, Bryce. I'm excited.
Well, I'm always excited to see you. I can't wait for the new merch. You know, I cops. Oh, I'm not one of those people that say send. I spend because I believe in supporting your friends in anything and everything they do. I think support is really big. So I'm excited. I love the new Jelinsky merch. And with the new season of Survivor coming on, hopefully you can be a guest with Wendell, Jack, and I on Survivor News. We love a Jelinsky take. If you have the time, you're booked and busy. But thank you again. This has been your Purple Pants play-by-play. We will see you on the courts or the field very soon. We're out.
Don't forget to swerve and bend that corner.
Hey.
Shout
out to Miss Nikki.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.